Oh, Thomas. Good morning, chat. Good morning. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hi, Clara. Clara is first. Boy, oh boy. Good morning, guys. Sunday morning on the farm. That's right. How's everybody doing? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You know, I drink out of that cup a lot right there because it reminds me of Hank. But I didn't actually know what that meant. I mean, I understand the meaning behind it. He left the 99 to rescue me. Like a shepherd will leave 99 of his flock or his herd to go get the one. Not necessarily to rescue me, it's more of a story. But I wanted to actually look up what the meaning was behind that. And I don't do this often, but I'm going to just quote you guys a Bible verse. And it's Luke 15:3-7. And this is Jesus himself speaking to the Pharisees. And he said, so he told them this parable. What man of you, having 100 sheep, if he lost one of them, does not leave the other 99 to open country and go after the one that is lost until he finds it? And when he has found it, he lays on his shoulders rejoicing. Meaning Jesus picked that sheep up when he found him to bring him back to the rest. And when he comes home, he calls together his friends and his neighbors, saying to them, rejoice with me, I have found the sheep that was lost. And this is my favorite part right here. Luke 15:7. Just so I tell you, there will be more joy in heaven over the sinner who repents over the 99 righteous persons who need no repentance. Guys, that is a strong verse right there. That is a really strong verse coming from Jesus' mouth himself. That there will be more joy in heaven over the one sinner who repents over the 99 righteous persons who think they need no repentance. Who think they need no repentance. Oh no, that right there, that gets me right there. Now I understand it a little deeper. It's pretty cool. Just wanted to share that on this Sunday morning. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the farm. Beautiful morning, a little bit overcast. The weather is nice. You're welcome. You're welcome for sharing that. Now I can go drink out of it. Now I can have a sip of my coffee. Yes. Goats sold yesterday. Are you ready? I'll tell you. Oh, that's yummy. That's yummy coffee. So we sold some goats yesterday. Some goats that I was not expecting to sell. I can't remember exactly how many went away, but if you're ready, I'm going to reference Mary's post because I told her it was okay for her to reference the post. Yeah, Mary did post it on her page. So if you guys watch on there, first off, Mary got her tattoo yesterday. There it is, faith over fear. But here's the goats that left yesterday. And I couldn't believe that we sold 3 billies. Weren't even looking really to sell the billies, but it does free up. It's going to start freeing up the area over there. But Toast, Dante, and Artie have left the farm. And Hazel and Lucy. So this is Toast. He left with a fresh with a fresh yellow beard, and he's going with Hazel and Lucy. They're going to make babies eventually. They have a nice 6-acre property with a beautiful barn and awesome fenced-in area. These two are going together. Um, Dante and Artie are going. They went together. Of course, there's my girl Hazel and Lucy. Two beautiful goats that, I'd say the hardest one for me was obviously Hazel to say goodbye to. So there you go. Those are the goats that left the farm yesterday. No, I definitely talked about downsizing the billy goat herd. You guys do realize one billy goat can do a job of 220 men. The birds sound nice this morning. Can you hear them? Just want to check. I am on my older phone. I finally charged it back up and busted it out. Coffee clinks. There you go. Can I also say how amazing the community was last night on Lauren's stream? Lauren did her merch sale, and she was selling her Christmas stuff, mostly at 50% off. And you guys showed up big and bought about 95% of all the inventory. So she gets to clear her shelves and find something else to buy. And then we had the 5 porcelain ornaments that were sitting off to the side. And she wanted to just sell them normally. But when I looked at those porcelain ornaments that had hope on them, and they had 2023, they were sublimated porcelain ornaments, and there were only 5 of them left. I thought to myself, we need to do something a little more special with them, so we auctioned them off. And 2 people came through, driving the price of the ornaments up to $575. What? Our faces, our hearts, our bodies were shocked. We were shocked. I could not believe how high the price went on those ornaments. Um, Absolute thank you to Joanna, and the other person that um, did that. It was crazy. It's at the end. We celebrated with some belly slaps. And then we went to the backup building. I actually stopped them from building. Nancy McCabe was the other person. Thank you, Nancy. I actually stopped them from bidding. Margina, thank you so much. How the Father loves you, Justin. What a blessing you are a witness. What a blessing. You are a witness, knowing with no doubt you are a brother in Christ. Thank God for you and the family. Thank you, Margina. You didn't have to send the $20. I appreciate it. So I had to stop them because I felt, to me, I'm looking at it as, okay, this is cool. It's a piece of history. It's a piece of old farm memorabilia that is going to never be available again. And obviously we wanted to drum up a little money, so that's why we did the auction. But I never thought in my wildest dreams that it was going to end at 575 and continue going if I didn't tell them to stop. They got into a bidding war with each other, and I said, guys, enough. You can both have one at that price, and then we just used the backup bidders at their price. So big shout out to them. Such a crazy night. No, it was not all 5 ornaments together. It was per piece. It was per piece. Now, they were originally sold back on the first Christmas. Um, they were sold on the first Christmas that we started doing this whole thing. Lord, if you wouldn't have had bought so much other stuff, I don't know how much the 5 ornaments made altogether. It was like 575, 575, 200, 175, and 100. I think that's how the pricing went, something along those lines. So, but I suppose I underestimated how much that our story actually means to a lot of you guys, how much that our story has touched a lot of you guys, which that kind of set me and reminded me that none of this wouldn't be possible without you guys. None of this would be possible without you guys. You guys are the reason that we ever turned on the camera in the first place. The reason we started doing our live streams. So just want you to know how appreciated every one of you guys are. Whether you buy anything or just watch or hit the thumbs up or comment or not even comment. I know there's silent watchers that watch every day that have never said a thing. And you guys too mean a lot. You do. So that was just my big thank you to you. Yeah. All right. We're going to move on and go check out some goats. We're going to go to weigh the baby. I rarely say anything, but I'm here. That's Carol. Good morning to you. Thank you for speaking up this morning. Oh, man. Oh, man. Such good coffee. Yeah, so if you guys didn't hear, Lori had a little black buckling that she lost um, yesterday or the day before yesterday. Little 7-month-old, I don't know. And that's sad. That was sad. So we know it was tough for you. I understand how difficult it is to lose an animal, especially one of your goats. I hear a goat in there crying. It sounds like either somebody that's lost, somebody that's separated from their mother. I hear you. What was the screaming for, Basil? Basil, why were you screaming like that? Or was it you? I don't know. We got some screaming goats this morning. Oh yeah, here it comes. Here it comes. Look out, look out, look out, look out. Look out. Basil, come on. I saw you screaming. I wonder if Basil is relapsing on her cold that she had. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Basil. She's dehydrated, I think. She's trying to poop. I think she's got a dehydrated butthole. I'm going to check her temp real quick. Be right there. I'll be right there. I need a new battery. I can't read the display. Yeah, I can't read the display, guys. I'm trying to read the display and see what it says, but the battery is too low. Can anybody make this out? Right here. It's definitely not 109. She would never be. That's not correct. It's not 109 degrees. She does not feel 109. That's 103, 103.98, 103.08. There's a 1 there. There's 3 digits. I say 103.45, something like that. 38. Yeah. Kind of close to being in range. So, she's gonna be my focus this morning, guys. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. She's not down and out. Just want to make sure that she's gonna be all right. I'm gonna go weigh the other baby real quick. I'm not gonna sit here and do medical things on my live stream. There's too many judgy people out there. Too many people that are just gonna judge. Come on. Hi, baby cakes. Hi, Forrest. Good morning, Forrest. All right. Oh, we gotta get all the way in, please. Have a seat. Get your butt in there, all the way. All the way. Get all legs in there. All your legs in there. 513. No, 513. 513.1. 513.1. And that is an increase from 58.8. So definitely gaining every day. Did you not get any of the actual grains? I'm sorry, dear. Let me go get you the actual grains. Let me get you the grains. I'll get them for you. Oh, jump, jump. Yeah, his name is Forrest, but with a U. Spelled with a U. Fourrest. For the fact that he was born at 444 at 4 pounds 4.4 ounces. 4.44 ounces. I don't know. Definitely got himself some crazy numbers on his stats. Here you go, mama. There you go, mama. Good job. Forrest, would you like to try some? Would you like to start nibbling on some grains, honey? Here you go. You can nibble on them in there. He says, nope, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Oh, I stepped in a nice pile of crap. That's fun. Would you like some over here, Reese? There you go. Cough it up. I'm going to check the board for basil. Let's see, basil last was on the 11th. We had the Talisson. I know I did a follow-up shot. I just can't remember if that was the follow-up. So the last thing that Basil actually had was a fever. And if you remember correctly, she was also um, crying out loud, and so I gave her the meds, and then she was fine. But that was a bit ago. So let me erase that and update it. I'm gonna give more meds. I'm actually going to do it. Don't be judgment. Don't be judgmental. But I've decided I'm gonna do it on the live. There's no need to judge me. I'm not gonna break down everything, but I do appreciate you guys being here on a Sunday morning when you could be sleeping. So I am taking it as a little bit of a high temperature. I saw 103.9 is what I saw. And just considering what she had before, I'm basing it on the fact that she already, um, based on the fact that she's relapsed on her cold. So that's what we're taking care of. Actually going to swap out the syringe to the small one. Good morning, Trina. Your body woke you at 7:11. That's nice. My body, even if my alarm doesn't go off, my body's usually waking up around 6. I didn't see Jeffrey live this morning. He's been busy racing. Jaden did very well in his races. I saw that. Congratulations, Jaden. 4:33. Is it still dark? Is it still dark out there? Just Billy. What's up, guy? Hi, everybody. Hi, Jay. Hope you have a wonderful day. Yes, absolutely. She's roughly, she's almost, she's right around 20 pounds. She's growing. She's growing fast. Missy, what's going on? Member for 12 months. Nice to see your badges out there. Dorinda, member for 20 months. That's nice. I love seeing that. Showing off your member stuff. 27 months. Dang. That's over 2 years. That's crazy. 14 months, 16 months. I see you guys. I think if you're a member, you get yourself a members post like once a month that you're able to do. Look at you guys. Hey! Andy's on. Good morning, Andy. With 23 months, 13 months, 28 months, Kathy Myers, and Dunlap, 24 months. I just flicked the poop off Reese's butthole. This is YouTube calculating when you actually guys became a member. That's cool. You used yours last week. Good morning, guys. Thank you so much. Feeling the love. Can you feel the love to this morning from the chat? You don't want to hear me sing like that. No, you don't. Basil. Basil getting a shot. Just want to, what's today's date? I'll mark up the board here. Basil. Today is the 2nd, I think. 8/2. You should be proud of me. I wrote it on the board. I wrote it on the board. Look. Doesn't really work. Doesn't show real subs time. Huh. Alright, so. If history repeats itself, she'll be fine in a little bit. We'll keep an eye on her. You guys are probably wondering why Bluey's up here. Hi, Bluey. Bluey had thrown her coat. I couldn't quite tell if she was throwing her coat or if she had mites, but I treated her with the ivermectin for mites to make sure, and her hair is growing back beautifully. Remember, she had that beautiful fluffy coat like her sister, but I hadn't talked much about it. But guys, the medicine works. When you treat for the right thing and the medicine works, it's a good feeling to know that your medicine actually works. Right, Hopscotch? It's a good thing to know that your meds work when they're supposed to. I didn't release that hour-long video of me talking boringly about the Meningeal worm, the worm that's out in the wetlands. You know, I opened up the wetlands and I'm going to have to keep my eyes peeled for any symptoms, dragging feet, limping, wandering to the side, even possibly neurological stuff, because the meningeal worm attacks the brains, you know, the meningeal around the brainstem, the nervous system, as well as the spine. So I took the risk and I let the goats out there because, you know, I have 20 acres of land that I might as well allow them to go and graze upon. I might as well turn it into a pasture. The problem was I read most of that hour-long spiel off of the teleprompter, which is new, and it does spit out a lot of information, but I didn't feel genuinely connected to you guys like I'm speaking to you openly right now, so I didn't release it. I didn't want to feel fake or like I was reading. She better be sleeping. Freaking hey, man. These goats. Who sleeps like this in the middle of the freaking hallway? Oh my gosh, they said get goats. They're cute. Make your heart jump is what they do. Um, so I'm going to summarize what the video was about really quick. Obviously, when we first moved here on this property a little over 2 years ago, I had opened up this front gate right here, and I had a hot wire going to the garage, and the goats loved to go down and out into the backyard and into the wetlands, and we loved it. They loved it. Filled their bellies up, made them happy, made me happy because I didn't have to do as much mowing. Everything was good. Everything was good until it wasn't. Until we were doing hooves right over there one day, and we had one goat up on the stand, and she was limping a little bit, and we thought maybe she was limping after that. We thought maybe when she jumped off she hurt her leg. And mind you guys, I had never dealt with the meningeal worm at all, so I had no clue what I was dealing with. So we're watching her, and I'm like, oh, it's just, you know, just a limping leg, not a big deal, no issues, it'll be fine. Well, you know, a week goes by and the limp is still there. I'm like, really not looking that good. And then she gets a little bit worse. We did call the vet. That's how we got the diagnosis that it was the meningeal worm. The problem was we were a little too late. We were too late on nipping it in the bud. And so unfortunately, she succumbed to the permanent nerve damage, and the inflammation is where the meningeal worm really makes its problem. The body's natural response to a parasite that's crawling through the nervous system is to make inflammation. Inflammation and permanent damage, just not reversible. Couldn't do anything about it. So then 2 other goats came down with it, Willow and Allie, and we had immediate response time. Well, pretty immediate response time. They were both down and out for a little bit, but we had Figured, you know what? It's probably from the Meningeal worm, from the parasite that's living out there. And I was like, let's fix it. So they reacted to the medicine perfectly. They recovered, and they became a very normal part of the herd again, with a very slight limp, both of them, on the rear hind legs. Now, it can also, yeah, Tori was the first one we lost to it, and Allie and Willow is who we saved because we understood exactly how the medicine worked, how the parasite works. So my thought was, you know what, the meningeal worm, it comes into the goat via the snail or the slug, right? And I always thought it was the slime. I told you guys how many times on the live stream, when the slug or the snail crawls across the leaves and then the goats go and eat the leaves, they're eating the slime that's contaminated with the parasite. That is not, that is 1% of the case. If you do the research on it, the slime doesn't retain the parasite larva for a very long time. Think about it. As soon as the sun comes out, as soon as the wind blows across the leaves of the ground, the viability of the larva isn't even that strong anymore, and it doesn't last very long. So, yes, good morning, Bambi. What really is the number one most commonly accepted method of transmission of meningeal worm from the white-tailed deer, the natural carrier that has the parasite crawling through its head and brain and spine with no issues at all, is actually when they poop. The deer has it inside of their bloodstream. They cough it up, the larva up in their cud, and they swallow it. They pass it through their feces. They drop it on the ground. The snails and the slugs come and eat it and get their breakfast. And then we're talking small snails, small slugs, things that are on the underside of the leaves that not even these guys can see. They chomp it down. They eat it. Not every slug is infected out there, guys. There's only about 3% of the actual population of snails and slugs that's actually contaminated with the meningeal worm. So, what did I do after we ran over this case? We moved Apollo over there. I put a livestock guardian dog out there because there was zero chance or zero possibility of eliminating the meningeal worm by eliminating the slugs and snails. You can't do it. 9 acres of wetlands, impossible to get rid of it. Plus, there's probably a biological reason why those snails and slugs are here. So, put a dog back there that deters the deer. I can tell you, I have not seen a deer over here at all. And that's exactly where I've released the goats. I have made the executive decision to release the goats in there, knowing that I already made a choice 18 months ago, which is about the maximum life cycle or lifespan of a snail or a slug. So I can tell you, I feel confident that I reduced the chances of my goats contracting the meningeal worm through transmission of slugs or snails. Now, if they get it, I need to tell you, it's not a parasite that goats can give from one to another. They can't. The goats don't cough it up and poop it out and then the other one gets it. It is a goat by goat by goat by goat. They only get it that way. They can't. The only way they're going to get it is if they go through that specific life cycle. The deer must be contaminated. The deer must walk through this area and drop its feces. The snail must crawl across and eat it. The snail must go high enough or into the forage where the goat could eat it. It's a very specific set of things that have to happen to be infected by the meningeal worm. But obviously we're in a little bit of a higher risk area with the wetlands. But by putting the doggy down there and reducing the amount of deer population on the property, we have reduced the chance of doing that. However, you guys all sent us a whole bunch of ivermectin. I said I was going to dose them all with ivermectin, and I didn't do it. I didn't do it because this goes back to talking about the medicine working when you want it to work. The meningeal worm is such a low likelihood of them actually getting sick by it. And even if they did, I want the ivermectin to work. Okay, I've talked about resistance before, but just for example, Bluey up there, oh my God, look at these goats. They're just like, I'm gonna lay here and die. This is what it looks like. But Bluey up there who had mites or whatever throwing her coat. I dosed her with ivermectin 1 week, and then the following week I did it again, and she's gaining weight and she's looking great. The medicine worked. Okay, but if I would have taken that ivermectin and dosed the entire herd, said, here you go, you get some, you get some, you get some, you get some, that only lasts for 30 days as a possible protection. So I wanted to do that. And I thank you guys for sending the ivermectin. It's not going to go to waste at all. But I did that on purpose, not giving it to them. And I want to apologize for that. But I'm going to explain to you why all of your gifts didn't get used before I put them out there like I said I was going to. The resistance is a real thing. So why would I dose every single goat that is showing no signs of anything? Because ivermectin is not only treated to for the Meningeal worm, it's also can be treated for the barber pole worm. It can be treated for the mites. It can be treated for many things, guys. And those other things are a higher risk factor than the Meningeal worm. So hypothetically, one of these goats gets sick and needs ivermectin, but they've been being dosed with ivermectin every 30 days just as a preventative for the Meningeal worm, which is a low risk. Makes zero sense to me, because the only thing inside of this goat's body that it's going to shed after it's consuming all of the ivermectin is a super parasite, a parasite that doesn't, all the weak ones will die. It's survival of the fittest. The weak parasites will die away, and then they'll poop out the strong parasites. They'll come along, get it on their foot. They'll go clean their foot. They'll eat they'll consume it. Now we've just created a super parasite. Fast forward 5 months, when you need that ivermectin to actually work on a certain parasite or a certain thing that's happening on one of your goats, and you go to dose them, but nothing happens. Uh-oh. Well, you try it again, you dose them, and nothing happens. Well, crap. You now have created a super parasite on your farm that is resistant to the one medicine you needed it to work for in the first place. So I did make that decision not to dose everybody. I am choosing to allow them to graze out there with the knowing that the deer population is less, and I've reduced the risk of them getting sick. I didn't eliminate it. It's not gone. There's a chance that these guys, and I'm getting nervous. It takes 6 to 8 weeks for them to even show the first signs of the Meningeal worm. Well, I'm going to tell you what, I am on high alert. I'm on high alert. I'm looking around. I'm watching for limps. I understand how these guys move out there. I understand who goes. The first sign of somebody coming back from pasture or doing something out of the ordinary, I'm going to treat it aggressively and fast. I'm going to make sure. You cannot find the Meningeal worm inside of a fecal. It doesn't come out in the poop, right? You can't check it out with the poop. You have to be able to identify it by the symptoms of the goat. And the problem is there are a lot of other things that resemble what it could be, especially because it's a limp. But you gotta, yeah, the sheep could get it too. Everybody could get it. So yeah, that's kind of where I stand with that. The only way you're actually going to find out 100% that it was the Meningeal worm is through a necropsy. There is an elevated, that you could send them in for a spinal tap, and they can draw something out of the spine that will show elevated levels of something else, some fancy word that I can't pronounce. And that will give you a hint that it might be the Meningeal worm, but there's no positive clarification that it is. Yeah, so we know how to deal with it. I took the risk. The fact that we still have 130 some odd goats. Well, I don't know what our number is now, but they are still eating every single day. And the fact that I can provide them with what their natural habitat is, green off the ground forage, makes me happy, makes me smile. I know it makes them happy. They love going out there and stripping down those leaves and eating all that stuff. I legitimately watched. I watched one of them eat a snail. I went down there. I sat right there. They covered around me. I sat near a leaf, and I lifted up, and there was a snail. I watched him eat it. Now, yeah, you're probably telling me, well, why would you let him eat it? Why would you let him eat it? Guys, if I walk anywhere down there and lift up 20 leaves, I'm gonna find one snail for every 20 leaves that are there. They're there. They're the small ones. So I can't stop it from happening, but I know it happens. Now I understand it's not the slime that's the biggest problem. It's the little teeny crunchy snails underneath the leaves. Maybe a low percentage of slugs that actually do it. But yeah, I see you guys are all having side conversations here. So enjoy your side conversations while I pour my heart out about my medical expertise with my goats. Suppose, well, so we're gonna keep an eye out. We just got confirmation that Waffles has been reserved, so Waffles will be leaving. Guess how she's leaving? They came and checked yesterday, but they didn't give me the actual confirmation until later in a text. The young lady wants to experience the birthing process, so we're going to expose Waffles to one of our bucks. Obviously, we don't have very many bucks left, but we're gonna expose Waffles to the buck, and she's gonna come and pick up Waffles in October. Um, and she has other goats already. The snails are not what cause it; it's the deer that cause it. The deer is the source. Let's go to the source. The deer is the source of the Meningeal worm. The slug or snail is the intermediate host. The goats are the they're the unnatural host. They don't they cannot tolerate the migration of the meningeal worm in their spine or or head the way that a deer can. A deer has lived with the snail and slug or with the parasite inside of its body for so long. They've developed this harmony that it doesn't make any sense for the meningeal worm to unalive the deer, because then what's the purpose of killing your host, right? Oh, they absolutely love this galvanized bucket. And I love it too, because this galvanized bucket hardly ever gets built up with scum. I just wiped everything out with Clorox wipes yesterday morning. Or, yeah, yesterday after the live. I wiped every water bucket out, scrubbed it down. I even did the outside water feeder here. That thing sitting in the sun really gets a little green. And in case you're wondering, not doing the outdoor waters for the billy goats anymore, because there's only 3 of them in there. 3 billy goats left. Three billy goats gruff. I'm probably gonna try to get that bander from Jeff soon, and I want to band Queso. And then after about 30 days of him being inside of here, I will I'll let him in with Gen Pop. And then the only 2 billies that we're gonna have left. Now Linus is too young. He has not bred anybody yet at all. Yes, I also said slugs. Slugs are carriers as well. And the only reason I say that it's less percentage of the slug than the snail is because I have spent a lot of time down there in the wetlands doing all of this. I spent a lot of time in the wetlands inspecting everything and checking everything out. And I can tell you, I can find 90% more snails than slugs. And they're teeny snails. They're very small snails. But your property might be different. And also, guys, this is not a blanket treatment for every single farm. If there's new farmers out there listening to me right now, you cannot just say, I'm going to steal your approach and idea and do it, because your property might be different than mine. Like I've, you know, do your homework, understand exactly what you're dealing with, because it's much easier to treat the problem when you understand what you're dealing with rather than just copying somebody else's idea. And it's not to say that you can't copy my idea, but I want you to understand it before you do it. I mean, how many goat owners are actually on here right now? Because I'm going to tell you, the majority of you guys are just fans of the page. You love goats, you love watching, you love the story. but you're not goat owners. I'm not a, I'm not a, I'm not a, I don't know, influencer to goat owners across the world. So when I speak, I'm only when I speak about this stuff, the meningeal worm or whatever, I'm only speaking to a small percentage of the viewing audience, and I understand that. I completely understand that. But if I can help anybody out whatsoever with any knowledge that I have learned over the years, I will be happy to share. Hi. I'm going to tell you, I feel like our success rate had gone up as soon as we became a closed herd. Bringing in goats from other farms is not a wise decision. It's funny, the girl asked me a lot of things yesterday about goats, and I wanted to explain it to her. Good morning. Yes, good morning. I gave her a tour, young girl. She must have been 14 years old or something like that. And I walked her around the farm. I showed her my medical room. I told her about a lot of things, and she says to me, "What do you deworm your goats with?" I said, "Well, it's not. You can't. That's such a blanket statement." Because she's like, "I use blah blah blah, whatever it was," and I'm like, "Yeah, you understand that there's more than one parasite on your farm. Could be." So I was like, blanket. I don't blanket treat my goats. No, no, your baby's down here. Turn around, turn around. Yes, yes. Make sure you have some fresh water, girl. Oh my goodness. So I walked her over to my med board. I walked her into the cabin and I said, "Listen, look, you treat each goat specific for what their symptoms are or what the fecal comes back out of. You're not going to throw some blanket dewormer on there that might not be effective. And you're just definitely not going to do it once a month. However, that's not a, see, here is a perfect example. If you have a small farm and you want to do a monthly, if you know you've knocked out the parasite on your farm and there's nothing there, and you have no chance of getting anything, and you build a huge biosecurity system where, people clean their shoes and do all these things, then you can knock it completely off your farm and never have it. You can. But once coccidia or barber pole or nature is going to be your enemy as well, it's I gotta tell you, it is almost near impossible. But you could do the best you can and knock it out of your entire herd, and you can read zeros across the board on your fecal charts. Zeros on the fecal charts would be amazing. But in the reality of it, we had brought in thousands of goats. Every single one of our goats, most likely, and I've already said this too in the past, I can tell you I'm not going to get pink worm or pink eye across the board. These guys already did it, and it doesn't resurge again. But if I brought in a new goat, they're going to get pink eye. But moms will pass it to their babies, who can pass it to their babies. The resistance. See, not only the dewormers or the parasites themselves can build resistance, these guys can build resistance to the parasite that they might be carrying. So, I'm not, I'm not going to say I don't have stuff on the farm. I only treat them when they are sick, or if they're showing symptoms of being sick, which means I'm okay with them carrying a load of coccidia or a load of whatever might be in their system, as long as they are growing and staying solid and healthy and no ribs, and we increase the food, the food, the nutritional food. Make sure we feed them properly because nutrition is directly related to their immune systems. So I think the girl left here with a lot of oh boy, that's a lot. Should Jeff be concerned with the baby deer and mom living in the back of What If? So you're talking about 3 deer. I would say no. No, I would say no. And why would I say no about the deer over there? He is not in an extreme wetland area. Yes, he has a little bit of a surface pond up there. His chances with 3 deer, first off, they must be infected. Most likely, the Meningeal worm hasn't even, if it were in those deer, in that deer population, wouldn't even have been alive long enough to become a carrier for the deer, the baby deer. The baby deer most likely aren't even a carrier. It's just the moms. So you're talking about 1 deer on a fairly dry plot of land, very low risk, very minimal risk. Is the risk absent? No. But guess what? We already saw that Mama over there, Lightning, had come down with the Meningeal worm. And I think she probably contracted it from my farm because 4 to 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks of, incubation. And then he ended up with it. I didn't do the math. I don't even know. It could have been my farm. It could have been from over there. But ultimately, he was so on top of it. He identified, ow, I'm going to bite you back. He identified it super quick, and we were able to treat it, and she walked away with 0 injuries, which was very, very cool. Very nice. Hi, Snuggle Buns. Snuggle Buns. Hi. Oh my gosh. So he'll probably be available on adoption day. Meaning he won't leave on adoption day. I can't keep him, guys. Unfortunately, I can't. The whole point of what we're doing is having to slow ourselves, slow your roll, understand what you can handle, adjust your lifestyle to handle what you can do. Good morning. Oh, I know. Hi, Snuggle Bunny. Hi, Snuggle Bunny. Yeah, sheep can definitely get it too. Ruminant animals can get it. The sheep, the alpacas, the llamas, the goats, they're all accidental hosts of the meningeal worm. They don't handle the nervous system migration from the meningeal worm. Did you guys know that the meningeal worm, there's usually only 1 or 2 worms inside of usually the brain. They did a test in a whole bunch of different states. They found that only 3% of the deer population was infected with the meningeal worm. But when they did check it out, it was anywhere from only 3 to 16 parasites living inside the head. But when it gets transferred over to the goats, there's usually only 1 or 2 that migrate. And the females are the size of a credit card, but they're very skinny and thin. They're very skinny and thin. No, dogs can't get it. Absolutely can't get it. It's a ruminant animal type deal. Ruminant animal. And then the males are a little bit smaller. Just a little bit smaller. Same skinny profile, but they legitimately just burrow through the nervous system. They've just forced their way through, legit causing holes inside the nervous system, and then the goat has to build up inflammation around there. Are you serious? The meningeal worm is not in the United Kingdom. Have you looked it up? You did look it up? Did I bring my bucket down here? Where'd my bucket go? There it is. But I feel confident. I feel confident that we're good to go. I don't believe that cattle can get it. In all my research that I did, cows never came up in any of the stuff. I'll ask Dirk. Yeah, that's crazy. So why would it only be? You know what? I think it's because the white-tailed deer is the carrier. On all my research, I didn't see that. Hey, the Sitka deer, or the black-tailed deer, or an elk, or something else is the carrier. It's a white-tailed deer. Horses are not ruminant animals. No, a ruminant animal has a rumen, and that would be the first stomach. And it ruminates. It does exactly what it says. The food sits inside their first stomach and composts down just like that compost pile, creating heat, and then also in turn creating bacteria. Bacteria builds up inside of there and is actually a natural part of their protection. And then the heat is that's why their body temperature is between 101 and 103.5, 101.5 to 103.5. And the reason that a baby goat's temperature that doesn't have a functioning rumen has a high temperature is because they have a higher metabolism. The higher metabolism keeps the baby's temperature higher. So it's kind of funny how nature works in that way. Okay, what's going on here? Break it up. Girls, is there any reason to be doing this? Huh? Any reason? There's no reason to be doing this. Girls. Ugh. What am I gonna do? What did Lauren say? Oh, I'm not going there. Anyways, so yeah. So we have Hope Ministries coming up in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Hope Ministries is Mark and Lori Weston. If you guys forgot about them, don't forget about them. Amazing people over there. She had a surgery. I hope and pray that she's doing better. Um, but little Bible study on your Sunday morning. You can turn your stream on, look for them on YouTube called Hope Ministries. I usually pop them on in my pocket while I walk around and finish the rest of the chores. So that means I will be hopping off in here in about 4 minutes. You guys should go check it out. Go check it out if you need a little lift me up or a little bit of direction in your life. He will request that you have a Bible or a device to pull up the verses that he's covering. Girls are so mean to each other. Oh my gosh, I just see these girls headbutting the crap out of each other. It's funny too, I look around and in this area right here, Bryce. Bryce is the only boy in this whole area. Dude, Bryce, my guy. Look at Bryce hanging out with all these ladies. He's a lucky man. Oh, by the way, I released a video yesterday about the goats escaping. It's up to you guys to decide whether it was a ghost or whether it was just a fluke accident of the gate. But all the goats escaped yesterday. It was entertaining, it was fun, and it was mysterious all at the same time. A very fun video. A very fun video. Ugh. And if you want to watch the replay on It All Started with a Little Hope with the auction that went off last night, quite an evening. Quite an amazing evening. It was fun and gave us some heart palpitations. Look at these guys. So where is Blind Sheep? Blind Sheep, Blind Sheep. So are you the one with the eyes that are hazy? Hard to tell unless I catch you. My camera zoom is not that great. Well, I hope you guys had fun this morning. If you did, I have 439 watching with only 280 thumbs up. So it's really important if you close the chat box and you just hit the thumbs up for me. That would be awesome. Help push our video into the algorithm. Let other people see. Let other people learn. Let other people enjoy. Nah. What did the vet say? The vet said absolutely nothing. The vet did not get back to me. Did not reply. Now it's the weekend, so I won't hear back most likely till tomorrow. So, very, very unfortunate when you, I, yeah, I'm not going to go there either. But good night. Have a great Sunday. See you on Hope Ministries. We love you. Thank you for being part of our farm. Rewind if you want to know who left the farm yesterday. If you're just tuning in. Have a great day, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.